We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got D or no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro? Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Merlin. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls. Bet I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it start? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We are live for the Ordinal Hour, and this one is going to be okay because we got Bitcoin dropping down to $97,831 as we speak, and it's going to be okay. You know, we are January 7th. We are 13 days away from Gary Gensler stepping down. We are 13 days away from Donald Trump stepping in. And we are 13 days away from a pro-Bitcoin administration for the first time ever, especially in the last 4 years with dealing with Operation Choke Point and everything that we had to deal with in the last 4 years. We're going to win this year, guys. I need everyone to be happy right now. Everyone to be excited because this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and dips like this, getting into projects that you've always wanted to get into at lower prices. I mean, it's like walking in Walmart and being mad about a sale. Guys, this is opportunity, and it's knocking on our door right now. We need to be happy. We need to be excited, because I am. I'm looking at new opportunities. Me and Yagobi are seeing AI, and we're seeing it over here on Bitcoin. So today, we're going to have the man, the myth, the legend, Satoshi joining us at 12 o'clock. That's 1 hour from right now, Eastern time. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. Satoshi is the king of AI over here. There's not many people working on AI. It's Emblem Vault and Satoshi, and they might be working together as well. So we're excited for that. But without further ado, let's get this show started. Bring my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up,
dude? So AI, Bitcoin, can they live together?
Yes, obviously there's been a couple of posts today that announced that, Eliza OS integration has been established. So now there's going to be plugins that are created for Bitcoin layer 1, and we've seen other parts of the Bitcoin ecosystem, as in like Merlin Chain, also being integrated with it too. So it's going to be interesting to see. You and I took a glance over on the Eliza website today, and there's a partner section and there's an agent section. And I think we're going to start seeing some of the agents kind of pop up that are in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So should be interesting.
100%. Let's get into this first piece here, because it has exactly to do with what we were just talking about. So NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang at CES 2025, AI agents are a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. What do you think about this? This is Jensen. How do you say his last name? Jensen Huang?
Huang. It's weird.
Huang?
It's because there's like two different ways to spell that last name, but
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's pronounced Huang. So yeah. But this is exciting, man. Like that people need to realize that like there's an AI developer industry that's booming. And so that means that there's high level talent there. And because it wasn't like, just like developers or engineers, software engineers from before, now it's like it's kind of like crypto was first, and now this AI like developer industry is booming. So they'll be willing to come in where opportunity lies. And right now there's a lot of opportunity that's mixing with crypto and AI. So I think we're gonna get some of the best talent over here.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And it'd be amazing if it's Bitcoin. I mean, we do have these L2s that are EVM, right? And right now, you're seeing a lot of this stuff happen on virtuals. Virtuals seems to be one of the kings right now, especially in the quickness of developing these AIs and the sense of some of these AIs are really taking off, meaning AI XPT. Do you see Merlin, especially with the news today, we're going to get into that a little later, but do you see Merlin being successful because of the fact that it's EVM and a Bitcoin L2?
Well, I think that there's going to be some like cross market stuff happening between like, Bitcoin's market and then like the EVM side just because of the tech stack part. But I don't know. We got to kind of wait and see, because the way that I've been looking at this, and we had Jeff on yesterday from Merlin Mondays, was, these AI agents are like the AI platform, like Eliza is kind of like a web kind of development platform if you were going to look in the web 2 mindset. And then these agents are like plugins that can do specialized like actions and stuff like that. So I think that it's going to be a lot of plug and play actually. And then the more intricate that an agent is built out, by the creator, I think probably more successful, depending, because like some people don't need it so intricate or difficult, but like some people need that if they want to develop or be able to interact with like trading multiple things, getting feedback and stuff like that. And so we just got to kind of wait and see how the industry plays out, but it's exciting times for sure.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. It's exciting to kind of just look around, and it's not happening on Bitcoin yet, but I think that is only a matter of time. Let's kind of get into it today. Michael Saylor announced that all his Bitcoin, personal Bitcoin, not MicroStrategy's, will be burned after his death. He sees it as a donation to Bitcoiners all around the world. What do you think about this? He has no wife, he has no
Yeah.
kids. His brothers are probably gonna be pissed off about this, but but what do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure that he's already probably hooked up, if he has any close like siblings and stuff, hooked them up already. So, or like guided them. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. It's kind of like taking your Bitcoin with you, I guess. Is he actually made that comment as well? But yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of like doing a solid for the Bitcoin community or holders, right? Because you take it out of circulation.
Yeah,
It's a
100%.
donation in a sense.
Is that something that I would never do? I would, you know what I mean? Like, there's no I mean, I don't know. I love Bitcoiners, but at the end of the day, I'm just imagine
Well,
just,
you have a family though.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, but I would still, even if I didn't, I would still give it to
To
somebody that,
some,
like,
yeah.
to somebody who I think deserves it, right? I would find somebody and like, yo, this dude's a hard worker with a little bit of money. He's gonna change the world. Like, I would find that person. You know what I mean? But that's just me.
Yeah, I think he's kind of thinking that way, as in like, the Bitcoin hodlers, are
Yeah.
this is like a donation to them, so.
Very true. Very, very true there. All right, our next thing here. This is I follow a lot of YouTubers. I watch a lot of YouTube. So this is a YouTuber that I really like, Miles Ducher. I hope I said that right, but I've been following him for a while, for over 2 years. He used to be a part of Crypto Banter, but now he's kind of off on his own. And he posted this tweet. I'm going to read it. I kind of want to get your opinion on it. So he says, alt season will never look like 2021 again, due to easing conditions being extreme anomaly in 2021, the abundance of new launches and altcoin dilution. Now that doesn't mean it won't be as big, if not bigger, just in different ways. Instead of every altcoin going vertical at once, bigger, but more confined rotations will occur. Liquidity will gradually flow in as opposed to sharp spike we saw in the 2021 stimulation days. Strong ETF flows have diminished. The impact of BTC pumps have liquidity flow. It's more psychological than tangible now. it becomes more of a trader's market as the hold a bunch of coins and wait for the pump strategy won't be as effective. Still ridiculous amounts of opportunity in the space, but just be realistic in the terms of your expectations and adjust your trading investing style based on your current conditions. What do you think about that?
I actually think he has a point, because I've mentioned multiple times that stimulus was a big part of the reason why we had two alt seasons in 2021. You know, we had
Yeah.
the alt season in the spring, and then we had one in the fall, early fall, right? Um, and so I agree with that part. I don't know. So there's a couple different variables I think here. One, I agree with the stimulus thing. Two, 2017 was probably more of a asymmetric bull run to correlate with this coming one. We
Yeah.
don't know because we can't tell the future. And then three is mass adoption. So even though I do agree with him, there is a variable of mass adoption that can kind of make this year look like a 2017 of like, but really robust, right? So like everybody's coming along, and more like more serious like projects and companies will probably come out this year too. So then you have more serious investors getting in, right? So I think there's going to be a little mix of that. So although I think that like it's going to be different than 2021, 2017 was also really amazing, you know. So I think we should probably expect like a little bit of a hybrid between those two.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I kind of agree with his point too about it kind of being broken up into sectors pumping. Like right now we have the AI agent sector really pumping, and eventually down the line we might go to something else. Do you see that happening? Do you see like different sectors taking off at different times to where it's not just hold everything and everything kind of goes up, but like, hey, this is the AI sector. January till March was AI, March to June was runes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Do you see something like that to where the other stuff doesn't pump once we get into that other rotation?
Mm, I think that like you have your narratives that are here to stay, and then you have your hot narratives, right? And I think
Yeah.
AI is here to stay. Obviously, people forget that AI was actually a narrative last cycle too, right? But
Well,
this narrative is definitely stronger.
well,
And then
I'm
you have
not
the
saying AI in general. I'm just saying this is the agent phase. This is the chatbot phase. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I think AI is going to gradually become so much more than what we have now. You know, but
yeah.
this is kind of like the AI agent phase, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I would say that's probably pretty fair, right? Because you and I talked about how we both think that AI is going to be integrated, or I brought that up, and I think you agreed. You know, it's going to be integrated to the point to where we don't even talk about it too much. Like, does that
Yeah.
project have AI? And people are gonna be like, of course. Like, if it doesn't have AI integrated, then it's not. It's not competing. So
Yeah.
right now we are definitely in this like agent is more of like the hype phase versus like AI in general, because I think it's going to be a layer. AI is going to be a layer. I think that's a better way to probably do it. And Eliza, I think, is actually like a perfect example of that, because they have the platform and they're like builders build, build your plugins, develop your plugins, allow other builders to possibly use these plugins. And it's kind of like WordPress. I know that's really simplified example, but if you look at WordPress and people that built WordPress websites that don't have like those super coding skills, you rely on plugins, right, to be able to do the things that you want the website to do. And so that could be an area that we're heading into. And so what does that mean? In my opinion, that could mean like something like Eliza is going to be awesome for like a first wave of this, but it's going to get kind of like saturated and simplistic in terms of what someone without coding knowledge will build with these plugins. But then you're going to have the people that are talented that have been working on it for a long time, and I think like Butoshi's probably a good example of that will have a way more intricate version of their AI like product offering, right? So I think we're heading into that direction.
Yeah. 100%. I completely agree. I'm looking forward to having Butoshi on later today too. I think that this is like a perfect episode for today.
Yep.
But Backpack Exchange acquires FTX EU, plans Q1 2025 launch while distributing bankruptcy claims to FTX EU customers. So I've been looking it up all morning. Backpack is already an exchange, but it looks like, you know, they're going to be launching FTX. Apparently, FTX, and this is, I'm not someone who ever used FTX, but apparently FTX had the best user experience, the best, you know, user UI, and the best like trading experience that a lot of traders had. What do you think about this backpack kind of coming in and buying this?
I don't know, man. Like, can you think of a company, corporation that was like really growing that bombed as hard as FTX and made a comeback? There's probably an example out there, but
Well, they're buying the UI. It'll still be backpack. They're buying the UX. They're buying not the exchange itself, but like the platform,
software.
the software, and everything that it used.
Mm, yeah, I mean, doesn't I don't know how the situation is going to play out because
Yeah.
there is a branding problem because of what happened. Like the
Well, it'll be
FTX.
backpack. It'll just
Yeah. Yeah,
FTX
and
is dead.
so then but they're announcing it, right? So that's the only part I think. But it look, I don't know. One thing I will say is that FTX debacle
Yeah.
like really not only messed with like FTX, it messed with the entire industry. Like it
Yeah.
lost a lot of faith in the public for the industry. And so but there seems to be a plan, you know, in place to refund people and do all these
Yeah.
things. And so let's see how this plays out, you know, because if there is an entity or force that can revive a company from wrongdoing, it's like a government supported force. And I don't know if that's happening here or not with like the FTX side, but we
Yeah.
shall see.
So the pin tweet from 7 hours ago says Backpack has acquired FTX EU, and it's MiFID 2 license. Our first priority is to return all customers Euro funds on behalf of FTX state. Sorry. Followed by rolling out a full suite of spot, margin, and futures trading products. So this is the part that was really cool, and this is something that, you know, if people are right, and FTX did have, you know, the #1 UI UX. I mean, for someone like me, this might be something really cool to at least you know, potentially get on and try. It'll be in EU, so you'll need a VPN, but at the same time, that's not really stopping many people. But we'll see if there needs to be KYC and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna really affect people like, you know, us and people in our
yeah,
space because we don't put a lot of, you know, assets on centralized exchange. Literally,
yeah,
they're there for a specific purpose and,
yeah.
you know, right out. So
Yeah, we use centralized exchanges here like we use public bathrooms. We get in, we do our business, and we get the hell out as fast as we possibly can.
yep.
So, but moving along here. So this doesn't have anything Bitcoin related, but I just came across my desk and I was just looking at it. 70% of all Solana tokens on Solana blockchain have been created by Pump.Fun platform. 70%. And it got me thinking, its base is probably already like 30% virtuals at this point because just the amount of tokens have been put there. But do you see maybe potentially that coming out of Bitcoin with you know, with BTC.Fun eventually in the future, especially now that, you know, they said they're going to be like an AI type of platform?
So like the whole I guess goal for blockchains is to get that killer app. You know, Jeff mentioned that yesterday on the show. And that really can change things. You know, we were
Yeah,
talking about how like Solana looked dead in the water after FTX. Like people were
yeah,
saying wrote it off. You know what I mean? And I think if it didn't have so much branding already up to that point, it probably would have died off. But the branding was so strong before that and stuff. So maybe FTX does have, you know, this comeback or whatever. But um, you know, that's what it takes because even before Pump Fund, there were a couple, I think, like meme tokens, but really the focus was on ordinals. Other chains were like EVM chains were creating inscriptions.
yeah,
ETH inscriptions had a
yep,
marketplace to try to do free and fair mints, all these crazy things. And then next thing you know, Pump Fund's going and like all the attention gets over here, right?
yeah,
Something's happening with virtuals in that sense.
yeah,
So I think what needs to happen with Bitcoin is like we took the attention with ordinals, but there needs now the infrastructure is being built out. There needs to be this killer app and DApp in the Bitcoin ecosystem. And I think it's going to come out because there's some very talented builders working right now on solving issues and building projects. So, but it needs to be original. Pump Fund was
yeah,
original. It was a business model. They didn't even launch a token. They made millions and millions of dollars off
yep,
of fees. You know what I mean? So Virtual's doing the same thing. right? So it needs to be original though, so a twist, something different. And the BTC.Fun has that. It's the free and fair mixed with pump fun, but we'll see if that works. So
yeah, something you just said kind of got me thinking. Was runes and ordinals the first, or ordinals and BRC20s the first like narrative of this bull market? If this bull market went all the way back to, like, I would say, like, early 2024, was that the first narrative, can you say? Obviously we had 6 months of sideways, 6 months of boringness, but I don't know, man. Now I'm thinking maybe that was the first narrative, because everything copied it, just like everything's copying these AI agents now.
yeah, so I think it was a narrative in the bear market, at the end of the bear market, and it
Okay.
like at the end of the day, like it was still a 4-year cycle that people were waiting on.
Yeah.
But we got lucky, right? Because I wouldn't say lucky. We trusted our gut, our intuition to cover the space, and because we were in it every day, we benefited from 2023's Ordinal Revolution. No pun intended with that. Honestly, I wasn't thinking about that. But anyways, and so, but Jake Gallen had a great post the other day. He said, there's the 4-year cycle is still there, but there's going to be these main narratives that kind of go into like the boom of the alt season and stuff like that. In 2020 it was DeFi, and in 2024 at the end it was this AI agent thing. But in between, in bear markets, there will be narratives that like stay. You know what I mean? So that was something like Ordinals. And I think Ordinals was very unexpected for the entire industry, because it did like really bring liquidity and stuff over. So I think we'll have that, but they'll have to be like established chains or something, like in a slow period, to where it'll just like really drive liquidity in a slow market. And those things have to have like stability, like Bitcoin does, right? Bitcoin has stability with its blockchain and stuff like that. And so I think that we'll have that like in 2027 and 8, but it's going to have to be something. Maybe Ethereum has like another, like, like a renaissance or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, man. Pro crypto politician Pierre Poilievre has 87% chance of becoming the next Canadian prime minister. But the first part of that is the most important. Pro crypto politician. You're seeing more and more of this. Pro crypto. I mean, the guy who's running for, I think it's Turkey or somewhere else, and he was wearing a Bitcoin hat. Politicians are now using Bitcoin and leveraging crypto as a campaign strategy now. And this isn't something that Pierre has done, but he's just very much been pro crypto since last like couple years. And the last prime minister actually made fun of him for doing that. They said he basically came out and said, he's losing people money by coming out for these assets.
Yeah, but I think that prime minister just announced that he's going to step down. So this is big for Canadians that are into crypto and stuff like that. There's a high percentage chance that he's going to win. And there's this thing that's happening like in the Western hemisphere and like with like Latin America, the United States, and now Canada, like the Americas, I would say. And it's this mindset of let's bring it back a little bit, bring down the temperature, be a little bit more conservative. Let's think about freedoms and stuff like that. And it's all aligning with like Bitcoin. And so I think that's why they're all, stating these facts and how they feel, and they're taking these positions on Bitcoin. So it's going to be crazy, man, because then you'll have Canada pro Bitcoin, United States pro Bitcoin. And I think more and more of these Latin American countries will become pro Bitcoin as well.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. Bitcoin mining profitability improved December 2024, marking the second consecutive month of gains, according to the JP Morgan report. So JP Morgan put out a report yesterday about Bitcoin mining. Bitcoin mining hash rate is at an all-time high. It's never been higher than it has ever been. But yet November and December have been the most profitable months of Bitcoin in a long time. Is the mining about to see a giant spike, or they're going to start selling this Bitcoin because they're in profits? It's a little concerning, but at the same time, we can add tons more hash rate and still be profitable.
Yeah. I would imagine that their strategy is to stick with 2025 and see strategic reserve, speculation. Speculation is the biggest thing for the miners, the 4-year cycle, right? Because they know that that's going to bring them profits. So speculating on Bitcoin's price and then seeing it in reality, but they're gonna obviously they'll be the first group that sells down Bitcoin is because once they know these cycles, they know how it works. So once it looks like it's getting close to top is probably when they'll start taking profits.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think a lot more people come online? Do you think a lot more miners start mining now?
It depends on, I actually heard like a single miner won a block the other day, like a single miner. Like that's awesome, but it's like a lottery, right? But still, that you have that chance. I think he won like 3 Bitcoin or something. But
3.25.
Yeah, which is awesome for that person. I'm happy for them. But I think in the future as we go on, it is going to be more. I hate to use the word monopolize, but it's going to be like big conglomerates that make it just makes more sense for smaller mining facilities probably not to participate as much. But I don't know, maybe they, the government steps in and maybe puts some sort of regulations with that. I don't know. But
they can always join a pool. Like just they can join. There's a bunch of these ant pool and stuff like that. Like that, they're always open for miners. But again, if you have it, 0.001 of the hash rate, then you're getting 0.001 of the reward, right? Which would be like 0.003 of a Bitcoin and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where it's like, you can always join a pool, but you might, if you'll still be profitable as long as that pool is continuously winning these blocks.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's going to just come down to a numbers game, right? If it makes sense with their electricity costs, then they'll still do it, even if they're in a pool or whatever or not.
Yeah.
But
I definitely see government mining happening. I think
me too.
You're going to see a lot of that, and I think that's why Donald Trump Jr. is in Iceland. Or in Greenland, because the temperature's there, and mining in the Arctic is very, it could be very profitable, because you don't need to cool down the machines as much. So, and you could build, a giant mining farm there, with U.S. Maybe it's time for U.S. to start creating mining machines, and so, dude, this would all be a part of that. I mean, I'm probably, being a little bit too, out there, but it's still possible.
It definitely is possible.
All right, the last thing here before the Bitcoin Fear and Greed: Federal Reserve's top financial regulator, Michael Barr, to resign next month. He was a big part of the reason why banks have been unable to engage with crypto and provide custody services. So what is happening now, they're saying that once we get a new, Federal Reserve people that are in there appointed by the president, potentially these banks could give crypto services, and I'm waiting for my bank to allow me to borrow against my Bitcoin. That to me, that would be groundbreaking. That's what I want. I want an FDIC certified bank to let me borrow against my Bitcoin. And I wouldn't do one bank. Like, most FDIC certified loans are up to 250,000. So like I would just put maybe 2 Bitcoin in there and then borrow against that, and then use another bank to do that. Like that's kind of like my end goal in life would be just to borrow against my Bitcoin, pay those loans back. Even if it takes me 10 years, that Bitcoin is probably 20x higher than my loan value, right? So I buy enough to take 1 Bitcoin out and potentially pay off all the loans with that 1 Bitcoin. So
the Fed probably hates the fact that they have to just roll this in. So they've been probably banging their head against their desk trying to figure out, how they can take advantage of this, right? In terms of, loans and all that stuff. Do they need to acquire a certain amount of Bitcoin, even though they said they can't legally, and all this stuff? Like, there's a point where they're probably going to have to just, like Larry Fink say, this is going to happen. But I think for us, this is the moment that we've been kind of looking for, right? To leverage your Bitcoin, because that's what smart money does. It leverages their assets to be able to make more. And I think that Bitcoiners are going to be taking advantage of this big time, So and I think they deserve it, right? They've gone through this whole kind of wait period and stuff, and not only have they been making money just off of Bitcoin's price appreciation, but now it's going to be leveraging it even more and great opportunities. You're going to be the one with the ball, which is going to be a great feeling.
Yeah, man. And think about it. You can get 0% loans doing it this way because the bank's like, yeah, if you don't pay, we'll just take your Bitcoin. Right? Or
Yeah,
like really cheap
true.
loans because they're just like, I hope they don't pay because then we get to keep that Bitcoin. Right. So, and then, by the time, I stop paying, that Bitcoin could be 3, 4x. And or they're going to be like, oh, wow, Bitcoin's price went up. Let's do 0.05 where you can get cheaper loans on Bitcoin than you like against your Bitcoin than you can on your home. So,
Yep.
all right, let's get into that Bitcoin fear and greed right now. Last week was a 64. Last Tuesday, yesterday was a 76. We're a little bit more bullish, which is weird, but it is taken from last night. Where do you think we are?
Where were we yesterday?
76.
And then so today's is weird, right? Okay.
Yeah, today's
So
really
I would
weird.
say I would say probably like 79.
Damn, I'll give you
Okay.
that right there. 78. We're probably going to see in the 60s tomorrow. I'd be surprised we're at 97,800 right now. I would be surprised. Look at that daily candle. Ugh, that is disgusting. But yeah, man, I will probably going to be in the sense of in the 60s tomorrow. But that's okay. We got to reset the RSIs, right? But speaking of that, let's get into the Bitcoin price action brought to you by BitPerp. BitPerp is going to be the leading leverage trading platform in the entire Bitcoin ecosystem because they're going to allow you to trade runes, BRC20s, and much, much more, guys. We had meetings with them last week that were blown away by, and their BitPerp paper trading competition is shooting for the 16th of January. So this is going to be an opportunity for you guys to potentially earn while you learn, right? Learning while you're earning is the best opportunity you guys have. Guys, take advantage of BitPerp. Because when they said something to us, I'm not even gonna lie to you. They said they want to enrich their users, right? And that was like, let's go. They want to be more than just what they are today. They're gonna be a lot bigger, guys. This is something. Promise you, it'll be beneficial to paper trade this when it's available. Look for that, and it's on Botonics. You get to kind of learn about Botonics, and Botonics coming out and saying they're not gonna have a coin. We all know what happens. They'll eventually have a coin, guys. So potentially, this is a way to earn that as well. So.
Yep. I'm glad that you caught that note in the private chat. But yeah, the
Yeah.
16th is what they're shooting for. So, I'm glad we could get a date on that. Spoke to him yesterday. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, if you are on the YouTube side, guys, if you wouldn't mind helping us out by smashing that like and subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, please help share this space, guys. We want to educate and onboard as many people into the Bitcoin ecosystem as possible, and hit that like for us as well. But let's take a look at kind of the nasty Bitcoin price action for today. Yesterday was looking great, and today is not looking great. Today is looking pretty piss poor, I must say, honestly. So, and this is the hour chart, and it looks like they were a little bit of a Bart Simpson here, but a little extended, worse than the Bart Simpson, because Bart Simpson probably in here. But yeah, yesterday was looking great. We got to 1027, almost 1028, and we have dumped all the way down to 97,000. We have made a little bit of a correction here, or pull back up, not much at all, really. Sitting right now at 98,000. But yeah, man, things were looking good on the stochastics and on the 1 hour and the 4 hour chart. But now it looks like that has reversed. I still think that like this is probably just a shakeout. Yesterday when we were doing research, some of these stock guys and Bitcoin, just the ones that trade the crypto majors, were talking about how it was going to start off well, but the market makers are going to go liquidation shopping, and it seems like that is what happened here. But a lot of people still have that target for 120,000 for the end of this month. So what do I see for a second happen today? Probably I see danger. I don't see, there's probably going to be some sort of, pull back up, correction and stuff. But I would probably get out pretty quick if I got into like a long, just because you don't know if this is going to be extended at all. The $100,000 mark is definitely a psychological line there, right? So once you're above it, you feel great. Once you're below it, you feel bad. And that's kind of what we're going through right now. The MACD looks really strong for bad for sell side. You can see here, the lead indicator blue line on the MACD looks like it's pointing almost straight down. But we have been in oversold for a bit. Yesterday at 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. I should say Central Time here. So second half of today probably going to continue that downwards trend, but you know, maybe with a little bit of a pop up, but nothing extended. I don't think. I just think today's kind of a pendulum swing back to the downside. On the 4 hour, we actually completely reversed our momentum, and now it looks like the momentum wants to go back down. So from yesterday's 4 hour forecast, it's saying that, like, you know, Tuesday and Wednesday we could continue up, maybe try to go towards that 105 mark. We actually might be going maybe to 95 now, but today's going to be very important, right? The next couple of hours, I actually think, because if we don't get a correction here on the 1 hour and back up, an uptrend started in the next, I would say, like 3 hours, and it continues down, that could be a bleed down to 95 around there. But anyways, that is what I'm saying. It's definitely volatile right now, but you know, people are excited about this new administration coming in and being pro crypto. So I wouldn't worry too much. I just think this is really like a liquidation kind of shopping spree for the market makers.
Yep. And we're 13 days away from Gary Gensler stepping down. I mean, that's a dream come true for me. No, I'm just kidding. But roll call time. Let's see who is here. And let's see who is first. Our boy is here. But first, I'm gonna get on first is first. My man Yasher, like always. Dude, I've been making a list, checking it twice, and Yasher's on the. We're about four shows into this year, and Yasher has been number one 3 of the 4. So shout out to Yasher, man. Always killing it. Always killing it. But we got our guy Mattyverse in here. He says, "What's up? What up, fellas? Saylor is bullish on Bitcoin, but doesn't understand it. So he understands half of it. He understands the number go up part, the finite supply, all that stuff. He does not understand the reasons why we love it, and it being, you know, immutable and permissionless, and nobody can tell us and anything. We get to hold our Bitcoin. So I guess so the only part he doesn't understand is self-custody. He calls us you know, people who put silver foil on their head, but at the same time, you know, he's been rich for a long time, right? He's been a part of the system. He's been a part of that 1%. So those guys aren't going to get why we don't trust banks, right? So
yeah, I agree.
Let's see. Our boy WebDro is here. He says, AI partners, your everything specialist, personalized for everything need, want, and desire. Shout out to WebDro, man. Thank you for that. Nighthawk UXL out there, killing it, guys, over in California. He's your Uber driver. Hit him up if you need a ride out in LA. It's our guy right there. Anagi is here. Ordinal Sweets is here. AI Boom and Ordinal Revolution is a winner. Let's go. I love you, Ordinal Sweets. You're my guy. Bitmap Capital is here. Choda is here. That's effing go fam. My boy Patty Poo is here. Patty Poo sent me a message. Remind me to let you know what he said, but shout out to Patty Poo.
Okay.
Mats is here. I Walk Alone is here. One of our mods says GM from Smash That Like and Share. GM fam, smash that like and share. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Mike Bennett is here as a GM. Happy volatility. Yeah, you gotta love the volatility in the markets for sure. Atorpa is here. Your first time here. Appreciate you being here. Satoshi AI sounds bullish. Anyway, to get stacks BTC to Merlin EVM, I bridged over Merlin not knowing BTC was a gas token. So now I have Merlin. Yes. So when you make the transaction, you can switch it to Merlin. I don't know if you can do that on MetaMask, but I know you can do it in a Unisat while in Xverse. Right? I don't know if you can do it on MetaMask.
I'm sure you can, because like it asks you on the RPC information. It asks what the chain token is. So don't do that though yet. Let us get confirmation on that. So, but there is an option now. So you can either use Bitcoin or Merl for gas on Merlin Chain, which I think was a smart, very smart. It actually made gas so much cheaper.
100%. And Atorpa, you can reach out to me at Shizzy Sats. I'll send you some BTC, like a little bit, and then way you have enough for the gas. So you, if it doesn't work for you, you can do it that way. So reach out to me at Shizzy Sats. And that goes for all you guys. If you guys have any gas or stuff, just reach out. I'll send you guys a few bucks. No is here. Shout out to No. Vince is here. He says, any airdrops on Bitcoin ecosystem? Got on board it the other day and am yield farming on Velar. So you are on Stacks. Stacks is a great place to be right now. We're definitely getting more and more bullish on it every day. But for airdrops, what do you think?
Well, so this is actually
all of our partners.
Well, yeah. So all of our partners are definitely doing. Most of them, at least, are doing some sort of airdrop type of farming gamification on their platforms. But Call Me Hunch, actually, I want to give him a shout out for this because he, one thing about him is he does fall into the stacks cult mind share, but he does also call them out. And so he called them out about like, hey, look, you guys aren't doing give backs to your community. You're not marketing well and all this stuff. So maybe we start to see some airdrop type of situations happening from stack builders. So if you're a stack builder, maybe you start the trend. I don't know. I'm not over there enough to know if there's any type of farming happening right now. But from what he's saying, there isn't.
Stacks users, not the Stacks token holders, the Stacks users, the people on chain making transactions deserve an airdrop. They deserve 100%. It more than any community out there. They are, one of the few communities that are,
hardcore loyal.
Love their chain, dude. They're super loyal, and they if anyone deserves an airdrop, it's definitely Stacks users. Well, Stacks on chain users, not the Stacks holders, because Stacks holders, a lot of them just hold it on exchanges and it's just Bitcoin derivative. Sixes is here. Shout out to Sixes. Tim Baker, AOD Art himself. Let's go. One of our mods. We appreciate you. Chief Axel, love you guy. He said they took our job. shout out to Chief Axel. South Park.
Oh, okay.
A bunch of the Southern guys. They get mad that the people from the future come in to take their jobs, because people are future. There's no jobs in the future. So they all come to the past to get jobs, and it's a little yeah,
that's funny.
Webdro is here. Shout out to Webdro. Help me out with this name. Galios. Sounds like a Roman god. Shout out to you, my friend. Said, oh, cool. To talk about Cypher Genesis. Yes, we're having the creator. Well, I guess Satoshi created Cypher Genesis, the AI, but the guy who helped Satoshi create Cypher Genesis, we'll have him on the show in about 18 minutes. He said the next one is a Maven's agent. I seen this one. This is the wizard.
Magic agent something. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but
Galileo said built within the framework of Cypher Genesis. That's pretty cool. And then finish it all off is Mike Bennett. He says, what an amazing and generous team here for us. Shout out to you, Mike Bennett. Appreciate you. And Pelpa coming in the last few seconds with a GM degens. I was degenning this morning, Pelpa. You'd be proud of me. So shout out to all you guys, man, who make this every single day worth it for us, man. Thank you so much for making roll call. We appreciate every single one of you guys, man. But let's get it. All right. The first thing is here is big news from Merlin Chain. Jeff kind of told us about it yesterday, but it came out official today. Let me bring that up right here. So this is the tweet from Merlin Chain. They said major upgrade Eliza now deployed on Bitcoin and Merlin Chain. AI is set to transform the Bitcoin and Merlin ecosystems. With Eliza, more AI agents can freely transfer, issue tokens, trade, and yield farm, unlocking endless possibilities for our community. Massive. We kind of hit on this a little bit in the beginning of the show, but Eliza seems, and I kind of feel bad because we were in a meeting the other day with our boy, and I was kind of trashing Eliza because I didn't really understand it. But now Merlin is kind of, giving me a reason to actually try it now.
Yeah, and this goes back to the earlier part of our conversation to where like there's going to be this AI layer in our industry, and whichever AI layer and ecosystem is going to be the most robust is going to take the lead. And head start matters, especially with development and stuff like that, right? So they do have a head start here, and I'm going to share my screen a little bit to kind of show the community of what Eliza has in terms of, these are all their partners right now. And so, they're partnering with all types of blockchains, right? Like Berachain, Arbitrum, obviously Solana is their main chain, Polygon, Merlin will probably be up here soon. You see Emblem Vault, one of our partners up here. And so, proud to see them up here. And, their AI agent is I think integrated somehow with this like Tensorium. I don't know if there's like some sort of treasury. I remember hearing about that. And so, so maybe they paired some Tensorium with AI 16Z or whatever. But yeah, you can see some big names here. Lit Protocol is also kind of tagged with emblem. You see Magic Eden. And then here's the agents. So these are agents that people are utilizing the Eliza platform to create. So these are more specialized. So, for example, if I click on this one, Iraq, and it will take me to theirs. It says Iraq is the first AI agent that generates alpha 24/7 through autonomous trading, sentiment analysis, and narrative engineering. Invests with the most advanced and capable financial brain ever deployed on chain. So, I mean, this is pretty, pretty crazy. It says assets under management 1 billion or 1,616,000. So, this thing scans the markets, right? And probably X2 to find sentiment, right? And they used Eliza's framework to build out, or to be building this out. So, pretty cool. And you can actually go to elizaos.ai and go to partners to see everybody that they're linked up with. But there's multiple different ones down here as well. And so, what does this mean? The X post that you just went over with Merlin Chain and Bitcoin. So what this means is like the Eliza framework now allows for Bitcoin, the blockchain, and Merlin Chain, which is a Bitcoin layer 2 that uses EVM tech stack or Polygon EVM tech stack, and to be able to have plugins created to be able to build specific agents for those chains. Right. So now, you can create a chain, an agent, and it doesn't mean that it has to be restricted to that specific chain, but now you can include that chain or those chains. Right. An example would be like AROC or whatever. Let's say that they also want to scan the Bitcoin assets. Then they can now include those assets in here. And same thing with like Merlin Chain assets, right? And I believe some of the dApps on Merlin Chain are going to start creating agents because the plugin's now available. So, even though some of these layer 2s and Merlin's leading the way with volume consistently, you can see that on DeFi Llama, but as an overall volume for the ecosystem is pulled back, they are getting themselves prepared and ready for the, have that next killer app on their chain, right? And so I think that's so important to do, and especially for Bitcoin, because I think the Bitcoin developers and builders right now severely underrated, because they're all heads down building infrastructure. But once they kind of let loose, man, I think there's gonna be some wild, crazy products that come out of there. We saw a little peek-see of people developing like recursive stuff within the Bitcoin framework and blockchain. Now that gets to open up more after infrastructure is done.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree with that. A lot of these guys are building, that's one thing about Ethereum and Base and Solana. I mean, they built theirs last cycle, right? So now, right now, we're kind of building ours. So we are, a cycle behind, but the same way, we have more liquidity on our chain than any other chain in the world, right? So and that's a big part. But I kind of want to go to this last part of it. I actually didn't see the second part of it, but empowering AI agents to open source architecture and plugins through Eliza, open architecture and plugins. AI agents can seamlessly execute transactions on both Bitcoin and Merlin Layer 2. Initially available to Eliza agents, these plugins will soon support even more AI agents, driving deeper AI blockchain integration. So this is the thing right here. So it's like Eliza AI agents and plugins, a Bitcoin relayer, Merlin bridging. So that Eliza is really planning to build on layer 1. It seems like, with the bridging to Merlin. So that's pretty big.
Yeah. And so I think that people that are okay, I'll say this. Like these components of the Bitcoin ecosystem that's really starting to take shape right now. Some of the leaders, they have the capital to be able to hire like these AI developers. So I think we're in a really good spot to make things more trustless, more we are going to rely on the AI, and that's going to take some time trusting that. But if it's audited over and over and over again, then I think that'll be fine. Plus, it gives creativity options to builders now. Like now they're not just limited, with what we have with Bitcoin blockchain limitations and the bridging limitations, because ZK is not there yet. You know what I'm saying? And so now we can be creative about it to make it truly, remove human trust assumptions and maybe put that burden a bit more on like AI, which is I think will be okay as long as it's audited consistently.
Yeah, 100%. Man, dude, I'm excited. I remember like last week we were talking about and we were kind of feeling a little defeated. I know I was about AI really taking off and just kind of looking back. But now it's kind of that switch has kind of turned a little bit for me in the sense of AI's coming here. We don't got to go
Yeah.
anywhere else. AI's coming here. So
Exactly.
all right, so BTC.Fun seems to be taking on the challenge here. They just put out a tweet back to back with Merlin. So let me bring it up right here. They basically said at BTC.Fun, we believe that in the transformative potential of combining AI with Bitcoin's decentralized foundation. Our intention is to cultivate a thriving AI ecosystem for Bitcoin by developing and what do you say? Cultivate a striving AI ecosystem by Bitcoin by developing interactive AI engine and providing creators with necessary toolkits to build, innovate, and experiment. Our vision is to create an environment where AI interactions become a natural extension for the Bitcoin ecosystem. To start, we aim to assist the community in discovering and building AI agents, laying the groundwork for the future where AI and Bitcoin drive creativity and automation together. I love this. I love that BTC.Fun is like seeing what Eliza's doing, seeing what the Merlin's doing, and they're kind of innovating this way. So this is huge. So what do you think they're playing here? Like, what do you think they're striving to become?
I don't know, man. I would have to dig into it, but like, utilizing an AI agent or maybe creating using Eliza as a way to make BTC.Fun kind of like a virtuals for Merlin to where people can create their simple AI. So that's what I think, the current layer of virtuals is like what I explained earlier, where people can create like these simplistic. Now they do have to use coding for virtuals, right? I think to create their thing, but they do get to use virtuals framework, I believe. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but they're simple at this point, right?
Yeah.
Now it can get more intricate if the developer's more experienced and has the AI development talents. But I think that's what this can be, right? So people will probably be launching AI agents and stuff like that with this and stuff. But that's just my speculation. I need to dig a little deeper.
Yeah, 100%. And this is pretty cool because obviously you can create a meme there on BTC.Fun, no problem. But now you're having Eliza agents plugin. So you get to just basically create a meme and then add a plugin to that meme. So you would do what you do. You would create a meme just like how you do, but then you would add a plugin later.
Yeah. So that would be simple, right? So you would remove the necessary coding that you would put in there to create this simple bot, and instead there's plugins that you can choose from. Oh, I want this bot to do this, and maybe you can go in and customize it a little bit more. Maybe they give you that option. I don't know, but I love it. I love the innovation and the at the end of the day, there isn't anybody pushing as hard in terms of innovation and onboarding users to Merlin right now to the Bitcoin layer 2 ecosystem. So, this is just another example of that.
100%. And I was experimenting over the weekend, and I launched a virtuals coin just to kind of see how it would do, like just kind of see the process, right? And I noticed that it was the same process as Pump Fund, like it was the exact same thing. But there is something that comes later that's just configure, and that was the part that I didn't really understand. That was, I guess, how you configure your agent to do things. So I'm guessing BTC.Fun could do that same thing. Just add a configure to that, because at the end of the day, virtuals is just Pump Fun with a configure DApp, right? So, and that's basically what all these Pump Fun models eventually could be in the future, because we just like the CEO of NVIDIA said, AI agents is $1 trillion business. So,
Yep.
all right, let's get the next thing here. Taproot Swap with a tweet. They said, "We did it, stables for the first time." So I went over to swap Taproot Swap .com, and I don't have anything to bridge over. So the bridge has these stable tokens on it, but their swap has still has nothing. Let me show my screen here. The swap still has nothing. So the liquidity is still 120,000. It's about maybe 1.5, 1.3 Bitcoin in TVL. We see some meme coins with 1.3 million dollars or 1.3 thousand, 100,000 or 100 $130,000 in TVL there. So I don't know, but they need to figure out. Screed Labs needs to open up their damn purse and dump some liquidity on these damn markets. Otherwise, it's not going to be useful. It doesn't matter if you bridge over all these coins. They mentioned like 13 coins yesterday. It doesn't matter if you're not going to add liquidity to the swap. It's pointless. And look too. And one other thing though, like why would I add liquidity to this? Like 2.9%, 2.8%. That doesn't get me up and going. That doesn't get me a reason to add liquidity to these tokens. Like why would I do that? I need more, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, man, I don't know how to even think about attacking this issue, because a lot of the problem is that like these are established tokens with holders, and that is kind of one of the problems that we deal with. I mean, let's be honest, it is one of the problems that we deal with on Bitcoin, is that they are tokens that were launched without liquidity pools, and because of that, whenever you actually create a liquidity pool that gives fair pricing, like I mean fair within like 1-2% of what it should be, right on the floor, the liquidity just gets eaten right up, so that's why I was like thinking in the back of my mind, Magic Eden is such a large entity, they have enough capital, but then they would have to be sacrificing that capital probably for a bit, for all the JEETs to get out, because believe me, there's probably a good amount of JEETs that want to get out or certain things. So it's a tricky thing. And that's why for Runes, the centralized exchange, I think a lot of people think that the major, tier 1 exchanges have to kind of shoulder this, because they're not going to lose much. You know what I mean? What they can do is they can actually gain if they market it correctly, and it will help the ecosystem and the tokens that they list. But I don't know, man. This is a problem that's not an easy way to, approach it. But as you can see, there's been what? Was there more Bitcoin in the top Bitcoin pool before?
Nah, it's always been around between 8.2 and 8.5, 0.82 to 0.85.
So
now it's at 0.87. So
yeah, so there's just probably not a bunch of people selling it right now. I don't know with this one, but yeah.
I mean, if you're bullish on Tap, right? Like, and you lock it up against Bitcoin, let's say Tap, you're bullish on it because Tap can do a 10x. If Bitcoin, you're going to be selling your Tap in the Bitcoin, so that's the problem. So the APR needs to outweigh that loss technically. If you're really bullish on Tap, I mean, you hold it because you're bullish on it, right? But you're going to be selling it in the Bitcoin as it goes up. So that's the problem with the 2.9% here. Is I don't want to lose the upside on my tokens, pairing them with Bitcoin, and everything's paired with Bitcoin. So I need more APR to kind of give me that reason, right? That reason to add liquidity. But there is zero reason right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think they have a plan with these EVM tokens. Maybe this helps because they're established with liquidity pools in other areas, and they have large market caps and stuff like that. Maybe pairing some of these with that might help. But then you have BTC there too. So I don't know, man. It's just going to be interesting, and how they're going to integrate those into it.
Here's a solution: drop a Taproot swap token, Taproot token, and give me 1,000% APR. Obviously, every single day it'll drop because you want to. But that is one way to get someone like me to get a degen over there to add liquidity to these tokens. Drop a token for this exchange. Reward the people who add liquidity, because otherwise you're just not going to get nothing. They need to have some type of reward token, and Taproot swap is something that I would want to earn. I would want this token. I think it'll be, if Tap does take off, Taproot swap will be a nice derivative. Let's just say Tap does 10x, Taproot swap could do 100x. So this is definitely a token that I would want to have, but it needs to be deployed as soon as possible. Otherwise, no one's going to use your swap. People are going to forget about you. That's one thing about Tap that I hate. It's just they hurry up and wait, right? It's just like, you guys have a product now, like go, push, market. They're terrible at marketing. I love Fitzy and those guys, but their marketing is awful.
Yeah, I still think that they're waiting for like alt season, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, it does stink because people, this is a pain point that has been sticking in the side of our space for a long time. And I don't know, someone posted on my timeline and said, this liquidity issue. Like you got 10 different teams trying to solve it, and it's all fragmented. So like it doesn't help right now. You know.
Well, there is someone that does help. Xverse now features RuneDex as one of the rune swap providers. So they started with a dot swap. They've added multiple swaps now to kind of solve the problem that you just said, right?
Mhm.
But it doesn't help when Taproot swap is a different. I mean, they don't even allow you to do runes or anything, right? It's just tap tokens. So it's just like, but Xverse now is joined the aggregator game. How do you feel
Yeah.
about Xverse really kind of pushing the narrative here? Something that we both said that we need in this space.
Yeah. Kudos to them because they've kind of plugged it into their wallet framework. Let's see if it works, man. You know, at least they're trying. I know that like you got them working on it. Magic Eden's worked on it. There has to be some solution to it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the solution is going to be because Stacks has tried it, is doing it right now with a swap. Merlin has done it. You had Taproot swap doing it, but I mean those aren't runes. But Unitap that is using Tap's tech stack is going to try it with runes, right? And then you have Rune Mine that's going to be using Near's tech stack to be able to use that as a verifier to be able to do some sort of network stuff. And you have Arch Network coming up too. So there's a lot of teams like going at this problem. But I will say this, that is probably a better thing than we're saying because right now, like it does seem like liquidity is being fragmented and stuff across different ecosystems. But when you do have like a bunch of teams working on one problem, eventually there's a winner, a good solution does come out of it. So I think we can't, if you're gonna look for the optimistic perception or angle, that is the angle, is that you have probably 10 to 15 teams working on this issue, and so that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like we are very lucky here to have as many builders as we can possibly have, and they're all kind of focused on one thing, that's building the infrastructure behind Bitcoin and layer one assets for sure. But it's going to get into our next segment here. We officially have the man, Satoshi. He's a legend in this space, guy. He's been around for a long time. He's one of the first people to be working on AI. I mean, even before a lot of the people that we really know about, we had him on the show about a year ago at this point, and he was talking about AI all the way back then when nobody else was talking about it. He dropped an AI agent before. I mean, AI XBT, right? He was one of the earliest people, and we are privileged to have him on the show today. So let's bring him up. Satoshi, welcome back to Ordinal Revolution.
Oh, what's up, boys?
What's going on, man?
There's a crazy song in my head. Like this motherfucker hits the. How do you sing like that? Fuck. But yeah, I don't know. Everything's good. What's up, y'all?
What's going on, man? So Shizzy, gave you a great introduction, and saying
that was dope.
And you were working on AI models and stuff back for your project, Bitcoin Booze. Like, how does it feel to have the entire crypto space say, oh, now it's time for AI when you've been working on it for like, almost 3 years?
It feels good to be right. I mean, it's pretty sick because like the whole hypothesis from 2 years ago is AI's exponential tech is going to get better. I don't know shit about development, but the first thing I would teach myself is how to teach myself with AI so that my dev skills get better. And as my dev skills get better, the AI models get better. As the AI models get better, then my dev skills are better, so I could utilize the better AI models better. And then I get into the snowball.
Yeah. That's a great kind of breakdown because like that goes with anything that you consume your mind with, right? So it's like for us, like when we first started Ordinal Revolution, we didn't know like much about how the blockchain worked with Bitcoin, but now I feel like I know a lot more. And so with you've been diving in that AI kind of sector within the Bitcoin ecosystem. And so do you feel like you've come to a point to where you feel like you understand even these evolving models probably pretty well?
Oh, and I know it's like instinct. It's like a second nature. I don't know how to explain. Oh, It's number one thing I tell people is all you need with AI is an idea. So people will come with me with an idea and I'll just blueprint it out. I'm like, oh, you want this done? Here's the exact step by step on how you get that done. Oh, you want the AI model to do that? Here's an exact step by step on how you want done. It's almost like there's a basic pattern. It's actually really easy over time to pick up because I just understand what system prompts work. I understand how the models could use tools, how they think, how they reason, how they plan, etc. So yeah, just like over time, talking with these AI models every single day for the last 2 years, it's almost like picking up a second language.
Love it. So before we go, move further on, if you could kind of explain to the community, because I think most everybody knows who you are in terms of Butoshi, and he started an Ordinal project back in the early days, like this collections that super early inscription numbers called Bitcoin Booze. But could you explain your kind of AI introduction and what you've built with that so far?
Oh, I got you. So what's up, y'all? I'm Butoshi. I inscribed a sub 10K Ordinals project with my co-founder Butoshi about February 2023. And it's also when I got into AI because I would trade a lot of NFTs and I would shit talk a lot of NFT projects because they were all dog shit. And I'm like, how'd you guys fuck that up, bro? That was so easy to not mess up. And when Ordinals came out, that was after a very long post. Oh, that bear. Bear break. And then, yeah, I just saw Bitcoin NFTs. And I'm like, yeah, this is generational wealth. I want to like set a name for myself here. This is what I was waiting for. But then can't be all talk. So I wanted to find a way to make the project fun. And that's when I discovered ChatGPT 3.5 for the first time. Ooh. So at the time, that was comparison to the intelligence of a high schooler. Like you could talk with him. Can't really do research with him, and can't really code for you, and can't really be creative, and like everything was mostly basic, but he could at base level understand you, understand your words, understand your sentence, and have a conversation with you. And for the first time in my life, it's like, okay, this is a robot you could talk to. I did not think this tech was real. It was not possible. This is all sci-fi. I just watched Westworld 6 months ago. So you're telling me Westworld could be real? The answer is yes. So I got super deep into it. I started with my first Discord mascot, Questboo, which is a way to use AI to keep the community more engaged. And then I started making these fun, because I'm a like huge AI, or I'm a huge like Dungeons and Dragons nerd. So I started making these AI D&D games where people in the Discord could fight these bosses that were brought to life with AI and then roll dice. And they could basically I'd have the AI narrate their action on success or failure. And that was really fun. And then kind of, I guess I could go. I could present shit, right? Yeah, I could go through the list. And kind of just go through like the history of a bunch of things. So there were like a couple projects I just ran through. So kind of like early experiments with AI was RAG and using AI to make a reliable question and answer bot. So I use that for Ordinals to make an Ordinals chat bot and kind of like have some base info source. I'm bringing this back with a new project I have. Well, I've always had Ordpedia, but I'm remaking Ordpedia with like the new set of AI skills and everything to make this a lot nicer and actually turn it to a Wikipedia-like site so that people in the Ordinals ecosystem or the Runes ecosystem could openly contribute to the Wikipedia site. And the official approved resources that people get put up will automatically get linked with my AI bots so that we could have just like this live AI Q&A bot for the Ordinals ecosystem, which I think we need. Also, it gives Satoshi AI a lot of valuable data on like Ordinals and all that valid stuff. So that's going to be really nice for AI agents. Yeah, just bunch of projects over time. I had like an AI. One of my first projects that actually grew me the most, his name was Ghost. I miss him a lot. He was my AI secretary, and I had him on my Apple Watch too. But the way he worked is he would help me manage my schedule, help me manage my calendar. And the most interesting thing is during like this time of like mid 2023, a bunch of important AI research papers would come out. So what I would do is I would have Ghost ingest like entire like pages, articles of PDF, of just all of these new PDF researchers coming out. And then he would understand what I was currently working on. And he would make these, since AI is really good at recognizing patterns and observations, he would ingest all these PDF papers, learn the lessons from them and be like, okay, this is what I learned. Here's how we could apply it to your current AI project. And from there, it would just like help me rapidly grow. Yeah, just like a bunch of fun AI demos. This was me doing a live demo with two boos talking to each other. So this is me messing with like voice technology for the first time when it first came out. And yeah, just going through the list, just making a bunch of stuff, AI meme generators. I'm gonna get to the AI bots, and then my AI bots with advanced memory on Discord, and then all the way to the Cypher Genesis pipeline and everything else we've been making. And content's been doing good too. Like last night, I just dropped so I stream code now and just like stream my process, because the one thing that helps a lot of people is, yeah, guys, I don't even code no more. I just talk to the robot. I talk to the robot about my idea. But it's more than that, since coding is mostly just it's really just problem solving and designing a system and like structuring it from the ground up. I really just kind of have this idea of a product in my head or something that would be cool. And then I'm like, okay, let me just build it out step by step. I talk to my AI agent. I'm like, hey, can you build A? And then can you build B? Okay, now can you build C? Okay, now can you connect it all together with D? And it's like, yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. Okay, we're done. Cool, product done. And that's basically how I code now.
So you have your AI models working like that right now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's kind of like, what some people are talking about that, they want to bring to the space, is kind of rolled all that up into like a public product offering. Do you think that like that's because you built that, right? So is that something that you feel like you could build from scratch right now, like over a weekend, or is that something that takes like a lot of time?
I mean, are you talking about like the AI agent framework pipeline?
I'm talking about like well, like you said, yeah. So you custom built that, right? Like where you're like, hey.
Oh no, I just use Cursor, bro. I just use the latest state of the art models. I mean, what a lot of people like, the theme with a lot of these models is the base model. So in this instance with code, I use O1, which is the reasoning model that ChatGPT dropped. And then usually I'll use Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is a model by Anthropic. And then I use the Cursor code editor. So the code IDE Cursor. And just the combo of Cursor and Claude is insane, because these base models are so capable by default. Like actually, like, you know how people are like, oh, we have AGI this year. Well, we've been have AGI. We've had AI that could complete like a general variety of tasks. It really just like these base models are so intelligent. It's like for the last year and a half, we've already had the hardest piece of the puzzle for AI, which is fucking brain. Like a cognitive robot or a cognitive machine where you give it data and it's able to like make a decision based on that data, like analyze the data and then like structure it or come up with different tools. Like now we're at the easy point of the stage where like people are discovering agents, and it's like, hey, if you give a base LLM a tool, it could use that tool to execute a goal, because AIs are very goal orientated. So if you give them a tool, so now like the realm of AI agents is a base LLM like ChatGPT or Claude that has access to tool usage. Tool usage just being a function that executes. So for example, like all the Twitter bots that like type on Twitter or talk on Twitter, like they're just using a function to post to Twitter, like hitting the APIs, scraping the timeline, or even interacting on chain is just an API that hits the chain or interacts with the chain through like pure code. And you could easily educate and teach your AI, hey, I made you this tool. Here's how it executes. This is when you should use it. And then now anytime the AI gets into a situation where it should use a tool, for example, a trader bot, where it's like, okay, I was just given a 6 CA. I have like 5 tools in my arsenal. I'm gonna buy it. So I'm gonna use the buy contract tool, and then it just executes the tool. So these agents are just, they've been really good at just using tools and using them to solve goals. And now like the whole thing we're all discovering is, okay, what's the most effective thing we could do? What's useful? How do we automate things? And that's the realm that we're entering.
Gotcha. But the way you explain that is that like you have to know like what tools, what AI platforms to use together and how to prompt them together, right? So wrapping all that into like one product, right? Do you think that's what AGI would be useful for, to where it could be, I guess, like the AI would be able to learn on its own without prompting, because it's already kind of coded in that it's supposed to specialize in this?
I mean, that's a good question, actually. Because to me, AGI is these really smart base models that you could then specialize into different categories or different rounds of knowledge. What's actually like the funny part is when it comes to memory and when it comes to learning, that's our one weakness right now. It's like we have had no updates when it comes to these memory systems that we could give our AI agents for like the last 2 years. I'm sure we're on the verge of some insane breakthrough soon, but it's like, yeah, like like our state of the art memory system is basically a knowledge graph.
Yeah.
That's it. It's been state of the art for the last like year, and it's like this is the best we got. So I don't really know, like the whole model self-improving itself thing is, I think it'll definitely come. I don't know. I think AGI is just like a really, really, really smart base model that you could just put into any task, any industry, any job, give it tools, and then just executes it reliably is the most important part.
Yeah.
So like what really shocked, like you guys saw Sam Altman's blog that he posted last night, or posted, yeah, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, where they basically said, hey guys, we're confident that we can make AGI as we know in 2025 and give it to you guys. What's really insane about that to me is that, like, in terms of them having AGI, it's like, yeah, they've had that since 01. They've had a model that could reason and think at the level of PhD students and match expert level humans for a while. But them posting that blog and being confident in creating AGI means more so to me, hey guys, we figured out how to make reliable AGI that could actually be used in a workforce. And that's a totally different story that I didn't think they would hit this quick, or at least announce it first week of January. Damn, bro. So that's insane. That's really insane.
That's when a lot of the news does drop, though. Right? Everyone's trying to like gear up for the next big thing in this year, and them dropping that, it's going to be huge. But like, I've noticed you on timeline, you're basically kind of the same boat that I'm in. I'm like, AI stuff's cool, but I just use ChatGPT. Like, I love ChatGPT. I use it every single day for every single task. I never use Google anymore, nothing like that. ChatGPT, and it does seem like you're kind of in my boat as well, where it's like, well, why do we need all this other AI stuff when ChatGPT is, you know, the Google? Like, I'm not using Ask Jeeves for searches. I use Google because it's the best. Like, why would someone use like these outside stuff when ChatGPT and IO seem to be number one right now?
It's about the user experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's because while these base models are really smart, imagine having just like specialized tools that are already integrated. So almost like everything we have with AI, I custom make all my tools, but normies are like, can't just go on ChatGPT and have it like connect to their calendar and like do all these random things. You're gonna like seek these specialized apps that just honestly just make the user experience really easy. Just make it seamless.
Gotcha.
Just make it nice. So that's mostly like what that would be. So a lot of these apps, a lot of these wrappers are just making the user experience easy and specialized.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. You're basically taking, you know, ChatGPT's kind of model and kind of taking it and actually giving, like Eliza, when you're chatting with that and stuff like that, you're actually just using ChatGPT, but it's something kind of built on top of it that makes it easier for the user experience.
Yeah, so like Eliza, if you want that bot in Discord, it's like you can't just go to chatgpt.com and be like, hey, can you talk on my Discord? It's like, no, there is a lot of work that goes in like making it nice, making sure it can reply to users, making sure it sees messages when it's pinged, having a memory. I think memory is a super important part that like we'll keep referring back to. But yeah, a lot of it is just like, how do you now build on top of this cognitive function?
Gotcha. All right, let's kind of jump into Satoshi AI, if you don't mind. Could you kind of give us the origin story of how he begun and where he's at today?
The origin story was I was with my homies, and they're like, bro, you got to drop like a Satoshi AI. I'm like, I'm not dropping another AI agent, bro. I can't deal with this shit. Like, I'm already dealing with Wanko Manko and everything going on. And I'm looking at the timeline. I'm looking at Sol. I'm looking at Base. I'm looking at shit blow the fuck up AI wise. Yeah. And I'm like itching, bro. It's just like an itch. It's like, bro, I could diff him. I know I could diff him, bro. I just got to drop it. And then eventually, like, a couple of people posted on the timeline where they were going to drop, or they were talking about like, bro, when is someone going to drop like an AI agent model on Bitcoin? I was like, well, I already did that for Wanko Manko, but obviously Wanko Manko is very niche. So it would make the most sense to drop something very general. So this was the whole like Satoshi AI like kind of hypothesis I had, is if I had an AI agent that first was mintable, so everyone could get and submit. 2 was generalized, so the entire community could back it. And yeah, honestly, that was it. Like if it was a mint and it was something that everyone could get behind, then it would kind of be like the main AI leader of the rally. And like there's no way Bitcoin doesn't like catch on to the meta. It's almost so obvious. And then there's no way I don't do it after being in Bitcoin and AI for like the last 2 years. So I was like, fuck it. I hit up my homies, and then we just dropped. Kind of like they helped me with mints and everything. And I was just like locked in for 48 hours, like coding the model from scratch. A lot of people use the Eliza framework, but I don't know if it's me being stubborn or me being picky. But I'm like, I just don't like using other frameworks because one, it's like I learn a lot if I code it from scratch. And then I could see kind of like the flaws and how to improve it and iterate over time. So I just made everything from scratch for Satoshi AI. And then, I would just like do updates and iterate over time. And that was basically the origin. So what's really cool is I'm very connected. And when it comes to like Sol and Base, I have a lot of homies there. So it was a really interesting kind of like what I've observed with Satoshi AI and how it ran up so hard. Like my goal was a 5 mil market cap. I was like, yo, 5 mil, I could hit that. 5 to 10 mil. 10 mil would be peak. 5 mil would be like really sick. I don't know when that shit ran to 45 mil. I was like, I didn't know runes could do this in general. I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know we had the liquidity. But what I actually ended up finding out is that most of the Cypher Genisis buyers, especially after like 10 mil, 20 mil, came from Solana, and they were Solana whales, and there were people in the Solana space spreading alpha where it's like, yo, it's Bitcoin, fucking AI, this shit's sick. So a lot of people are actually bridging over from Sol to Bitcoin runes to get involved with the Cypher Genisis project. And then I would have like a lot of homies be like, you didn't tell me you dropped a fucking meme coin, an AI meme coin. I was like, I was locked in. I was busy. So then they end up buying in like 20 mil. And then it really did not take that much volume to send it from 20 mil to 40 mil. I think it took like 2 or 3 mil in volume, which does not slide in Solana, by the way. That shit does not slide in Solana. But like when it came to Bitcoin, like because of the way that listings work, it just sends it really high. So it's really interesting observation of runes where it's like when shit pumps, and when shit dumps, shit dumps.
Yeah, that was that token kind of, I felt like came out of nowhere and did very well, and it's still doing well. But whenever you saw like all these like AI agents come out and stuff, were you kind of like, were you like, this is just a bunch of hype? Because you understand kind of the behind the scenes and everything. Because I've seen some of your posts and I feel like I get a little of that sentiment, but I don't want to assume. So I wanted to kind of hear it from you. Like, how do you feel like this is kind of the agent, I guess, aspect of it's a bit overhyped right now?
Absolutely. You're all buying vaporware. We're all always buying vaporware. But like one thing I would tell people is like, if I wanted to drop an actual serious AI product that I wanted to scale to like Web 2P, I mean, bro, honestly, it's a really difficult realm. So there's like 3 main points I got to get across. So like what I used to tell people is that if I wanted to drop an actual AI product that was serious, I would not drop a coin next to it. I would not drop the meme coin with it, because that would essentially like tie me down to the meme coin. It's just like very suppressive. And like, you don't, bro, none of these coins have anything to do with the AI product. Like not a single one of them. It's just attached. Like there's just a name with it. And like, it's all open source tech. You're not really paying for access if you could just download the tech yourself and like run it up, right? I think what's really interesting about what's happening with meme coins and AI, and it's like, fuck, these valuations are so silly, bro. Like for example, giving like an actual like solid comparison, there is a agentic framework called LangChain that has been out for like the last 2 years. That is most similar to Eliza, in which it has the most open source contributors. It got a lot of like investments from people and everything. That company that is used in enterprise level tech, like Eliza is not used in enterprise. Like I don't think it's gonna be used in enterprise, just due to the nature. It's like an anime girl with big titties on like the homepage. Like company like Coca-Cola or like other like big corporations are gonna like look at that and be like, yes, we need that in our systems. We're gonna use that to market our brand. No, but like LangChain is more like enterprise focused, like build production ready tools and everything, and like get hard data on your agents. That company's valued at 200 like mil right now.
Damn.
Meanwhile, Eliza like all-time high 2.7 mil. So there's like that insane difference in valuations between like crypto and like the actual valuation, but it doesn't matter. And the reason why I say it doesn't matter is because like we've been in this like crypto space where like fucking vaporware meme coins run up. So I like that's just the nature of the space. That's just what's going on right now. That's just how much money is flowing into the crypto space. And now you add the sickest technology of all fucking time, world-changing tech, paradigm-changing tech, the last invention that man needs to ever make, tech, with meme coins. Oh, that shit's sick. So that's kind of like the whole thing. It's like we're already going through that. These valuations don't make sense. You're all already buying vaporware, but we all know we're buying vaporware. So at least buy the coolest vaporware. I think what's so interesting too is that meme coin is all about attention. And like the more attention something has, the more attention something could gather, the more money flows into the coin. So my whole thing with Satoshi AI really that I was already going to work on is I want to fully automate my Bitcoin Boost project. One of the most important parts of a company is automating marketing. Okay, how do I make an AI agent that markets itself and is automated and runs 24/7 and could cultivate and grow its own community? So that's what Satoshi AI is really to me, is an experiment of how to cultivate an AI KOL and like from scratch and like see how it grows and observe, and just every single time he tweets, like the whole time during the timeline during the run, like I would just observe and take notes and like tweak some things and like see how things work to learn from that. And then the other final point, kind of like connecting all of that together, is crypto is the safe haven from what's going on right now in society. Because it's like the analogy I give people with AGI, especially now, I would be in college. I think I'd be a senior in college right now if I didn't like do the crypto space stuff or like any of this. I'd be fucked. I'd be so screwed in terms of why would a company hire me? Like I would be in computer science specifically. So why would a company hire me, a college pleb, that they have to pay a minimum wage at least because I have to survive and I have needs as a human being? And I can't work that much either, by the way. I like, you may like 8 hours max per day, when they now have access to AGI, which has an average IQ of 157, costs 100 times less than me and works 3 times more than me because it could just run 24/7. Yeah. Just what is the point of hiring me? There is no point of hiring me. The only point is hiring kind of like NVIDIA talked about this last night, but like operator. HR managers for AI agents and all of that. And like, yeah, that does actually make the most sense. Like just maintaining your AI agents because they're doing the whole thing. So this is happening on a vast scale. Like for the last year, I've already been observing mass unemployment, especially for call centers. I didn't think call centers would go that fast, but just like the reliable technology to have voice AI talk on a phone just came out that quickly. And like voice AI that could use tools, could then interact with your server and interact with your database and like deal with actually helping your customers. So that like was one of the first to go, and everything is kind of just going. So it's a mix of people getting displaced and also a mix of people just not getting hired because you're simply not needed. And when it comes to the crypto space, none of these meme coin fucks are ever useful to society anyways, bro. You think any of them work? No, we trade memes. We like our valuations come from understanding humor and understanding attention and trading vaporware. And like we just diff like actual hardworking people of society. And it's like it's a horrible truth when you say it out loud, but that's just how the space works. So no one in the crypto space is affected negatively by AGI. Everyone is actually very massively positively affected, especially as the wealth of the world increases. And NVIDIA calling AI agents $1 trillion industry and people experimenting with AI agents because there is a reward factor for experimentation. So the idea, the crypto space has always been an idea economy. And the one thing that AI allows you to do is to instantly bring your ideas to life. So all these AI meme coins really are doing are validating people's ideas and kind of like cultivating them. And like, that's everything we're seeing now. And I think that's sick.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. And we're going through our own kind of industrial period of transitioning, to this new world to where computer science degrees don't matter as much anymore. Right. So I think you're right, though. There's going to be like a kind of more of like AI managers that manage a certain amount of agents under them just to make sure that like, everything's processing correctly and all that stuff, kind of QC almost. But man, good thing you found crypto and then dove into the Ordinals sector, right? Because you might be stuck with just a fat loan basically that you have to pay back.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been so bad.
Well, I want to talk about, so we got 1,027, 28 people in here. So welcome for the new people that just joined. But we're talking AI and Bitcoin ecosystem here with Butoshi and OG in the space. But I want to talk about what you think the effect of AI could be for the Bitcoin ecosystem, because there's this debate constantly going on with the limitations of Bitcoin and blah, 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 right? Like people are pissed because there's not like instant liquidity like Solana and EVM. So first of all, do you think that's a problem? Because, you know, you're a founder of projects. And number two, how can AI help the UX be better, I guess, over and where we are?
I'd say, do I think it's a problem in terms of like not having AMMs or liquidity pools or any of that? I'd say it's a mix of yes and no. It's like, if it's really a problem, Solana exists, bro. You can just go over there. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Solana's been there if you want speed. But at the same time, it's like, God, it would be so nice to have that support and then have meme coins backed by Bitcoin. But like, that is a trade-off. It's like Solana's not secure. Bitcoin's the most secure blockchain on the planet. Like, obviously, you're going to secure like speed and convenience for security. That's the entire point of the blockchain we're on right now. So I don't see it too much as a problem. I think there's interesting kind of like these wrap solutions around layer one that we see with like Magic Eden and swaps and all that. And when it comes to AI solving that problem, it's like, you can't really have AI change the base layer one, but you can have, I guess, some AI infra where it's like, hey, buy me some of this rune when it hits this floor price. Yeah. And then now you have the system, which is really just botting. Like, you don't need AI on top of this to make it convenient, but what AI does is make an interface very intuitive for a normal person to do. So you can just speak your words into it where it's like, hey, I want like 1 Bitcoin of Doggo to the moon when it hits this price. And it's like, usually it's like, okay, you don't really have like order books that you could put on a chart, right? Like Solana is like, you just put an order, or you could just like set in I don't really like know the name, but it's just like when you set like a buy price and then like it gets filled and then you instantly get your coins. It's like, we don't exactly have that on Bitcoin. We have Magic Eden bidding now, I guess. We do have Magic Eden bidding.
Yeah.
But I guess the same could be like I don't know, actually.
So I agree with you in terms of like tech stacks and like, you know, Solana's right there, base is there if you want speed and liquidity pools and AMMs and stuff like that. But then I think people would kind of counter argue that and say, well, you know, theoretically, you know, fungible tokens on Bitcoin should be at higher market caps than they currently are. They're underperforming massively because they're on the most secure chain. So their secondary assets should be higher evaluated than Ethereum's and stuff like. So what would your counter be to that argument? That we might just those assets will maybe never live up to people's expectations?
I think you all have to look at Bitcoin like an MMORPG. Like, these runes are not meme coins, bro. They're mystical items. I really don't know. I think it does hurt. It does kind of suck, like, seeing them underperform. Especially me. Like, I'm seeing, like, random AI LARP shit run up to 400 mil market caps. Cough. Or just, like, yeah, just copy and paste from GitHub running up to 40 mil. And it's like, damn, like, that shit does not slide on Bitcoin. You can't even take off on Bitcoin. My counter argument to the valuation is that
it's a time thing. I
definitely think it's more of a time. It's definitely more of a time thing. Like, people need to do more sick shit. It's like, I guess it's going into like a personal observation. It's like, people from Solana were willing to buy Bitcoin assets to get involved into a cool thing on Bitcoin. Maybe we're just not cool enough, guys. Like, if people are not like bridging over to like buy things, and like, maybe we just need to focus more on building experiences, because you wouldn't really care about holding. I don't know, because it's there's so many factors that go into everything when it comes to like why someone would buy assets on Bitcoin. I definitely think the most important part of that is the experience and like what you could do if you're a holder, benefits and all that. So I'm trying to draw up like cool AI utility for like Bitcoin specific holders. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, cool, I'm not missing out on the stuff from Sol. Yeah. And then at the same time, it's like our entire ecosystem trades like a turtle. Like, the on-chain assets of Bitcoin trade like Bitcoin, bro. Like, we've had Bitcoin do nothing for 6 months and then absolutely disgustingly rip for 3 months straight. Guess what? Ordinals did the exact same thing, where Ordinals did nothing for 6 months straight and then just, oh my God, that was fucking gross, bro. The way like everything just ripped. It was just up only. And it wasn't like, oh, this pump's only gonna last like a couple days. No, it lasted a couple months. Like, that's insane. And then once the pump done, and a lot of people, a lot of ordinal OGs, and a lot of people in the ordinal space just got like really wealthy off that one single run we've had so far. So, and now things have done nothing for several months again. But interesting enough, at least like for ordinals, it's like things have held their floor prices really, really, really strongly, which is always a really good sign, especially for months on end. It's like people on Bitcoin are delusional enough to just hold. So that's really nice. Like everyone knows what they're holding. And yeah, it's really just a time game. Like I get the impatience, I get the frustration. And just fucking go trade on Solana and make meme coin profits and then bring it back to Bitcoin. That's what I do. I'll farm the fuck out of meme coins and then I'll just like buy ordinals because it's so free to me in my head. It's like, really, you're telling me like because I have people call me crazy for this thought process, but I'm like, bro, with AGI, it's like I genuinely don't believe that bull markets or bear markets exist anymore. People are like, oh, like there's next cycle. There is no next cycle. What the fuck you mean next cycle, bro?
Yeah.
You mean the next cycle where governments widely approve and adopt Bitcoin? Oh, you mean the next cycle where institutions like BlackRock, who manage trillions of dollars of assets, get into Bitcoin and have all their assets, like have all their clients buy it? Oh, you mean next cycle when AGI, world-changing technology, come out? No, bro, all these celestial giants have aligned for this cycle. There is no other cycle. At least in terms of making like insane gains, like, no, this is it. This is the cycle every single person has been waiting for. So you got to try your ass out now, and you got to learn now, and you got to learn quick because there is no other cycle. Like, this is it. Well, and for the final cycle, we got Bitcoin NFTs. Ooh, that's fire. That's fire.
Well, the biggest problem, Ordinals is 2 years old, right? That's the biggest problem because Solana, it had an entire cycle to live and become what it is. So that foundation was built. Ethereum now it's going into its third cycle, and to your point, it is probably the last of that because institutions now will end up buying Ethereum and staking it, right? They're gonna own Ethereum in the future once they understand how they can control it. But I guess my next question is Bitcoin being so young and stuff like that, and we don't have technology that they have on Solana with SVM. We don't have technology like EVM, but we do now have artificial intelligence. Can AI or AGI kind of replace a smart contract, in your opinion? Could it do things that a smart contract can do?
No, not at all. So that's not a replaceable thing. And all of the like AI compute that's all off chain. So that would eradicate the whole point of like us doing things.
I mean, that's what we're doing right now with runes and ordinals. Like that indexing is happening off chain, right? So wouldn't be
not really, because like everyone could just run an indexer, and everyone, because like all the data for ordinals and runes is like on chain on Bitcoin. It's like, hey, like this data is literally inscribed on Bitcoin and it's attached to these Satoshis that if I get my own indexer of ordinals, then it would be on par with everyone else's indexer because it all follows the same formula. It all follows the same code. So like, I could verify, even if ordinals.com goes down or all these marketplaces go down, if I spin up my own node, I could verify like these ordinal assets and verify the data. Same thing with runes. This is UTXO based. You could verify the data and track everything. When it comes to AI, it's like, no, that's not on chain, and all the compute is verified off chain. And so like you would run that off chain, and like I can't replicate someone else's results if I had my own AI indexer of Bitcoin because it's going to be completely different. So there's no consensus there.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess so. Like even if you tried to take an approach kind of with off-chain indexing, I would guess that's the only way you would do it, with like kind of Arch network or something. I don't know. But anyways, I feel like I think that this was a great discussion on kind of the perception of Bitcoin, because I feel like you're pretty plugged in with, some of the core ordinals people. And so you have these fundamental conversations quite often in terms of, how should we look at Bitcoin? Should Bitcoin get opcat? Should it be upgraded? Should it be faster? Should we be shitcoining like Solana and Base and stuff like that? And maybe at the end of the day, it is a completely, totally different trading experience too. It's like way more gamified in a skill set, I think, over here versus like you're going against really hard like bots and stuff on Solana and all this other shit. So it's almost kind of a beauty in how we do things now, but you got to get good at it, because if you're not good at it, then you're gonna be holding the bag.
Yeah, it is nice. I mean, I think that's what I meant by it's an MMORPG experience. Like, you're really just collecting. You're really just playing here. Like,
it's like trading cards. Like you're kind of like, okay, I want to let go of this. I want to swap for this or whatever, except for every time you get Bitcoin.
yeah, like crypto in general is an on-chain MMO, and like now we got the Bitcoin DLC finally. And yeah, that's just the whole vibe. I think the most important metric that people should be looking at is how many new community members do we get that come in and stay. Is because it's like, bro, I could go on a bunch of different discords and recognize most people, but like recently it's like, yeah, I'm not really recognizing a lot of people. I'm getting like brand new holders for booths, and that's always a really good sign for like in terms of growth. So I think every single time, kind of like the way I see it is at the very start, you can like count on your hands and fingers how many people were in ordinals and how many people were trading inscriptions on spreadsheets, and then just like over time, as price action will always bring more people in, no matter who it is, no matter what chain. If they see money, if they see an opportunity, they're gonna come in. So every single time we've had a ordinal run or a runes run, it's like we had new market participants come in and try it out. Most left frustratingly, but a couple and like a good amount of people stayed, and then they're all there for the next cycle. So every time we get like a pump in the ordinals or runes ecosystem, like we grow our base foundation more and more and more. And I think rather than observing price, because market caps really don't matter in runes. Market caps don't matter in ordinals, bro. No one lists. If the pressure is there, like things are just going to skyrocket really easily. So I think the most important metric is just observing how many people actually stay and how many holders there are and like how active people are and like building out the ordinals ecosystem. Or if we're all just really, really delusional and Bitcoin never takes off despite being the most expensive chain by orders of magnitude.
Speaking of that, you know, there are a couple people that are, you know, going into the AI hype and saying, oh, you know, the Bitcoin ecosystem seems to be like so dry and stuff like that. What are your expectations of the rest of this year for our ecosystem? You know, do you feel like, because, you know, there's going to be a repricing, in my opinion, of ordinals for sure. We've maintained that number 2 on a month to month behind Ethereum because they've caught up in terms of digital art. But what are, I know you can't tell the future, but what's your gut telling you for 2025 for our space?
Disgustingly higher.
Higher
is the whole vibe. I'm really like, the reason why is like my whole kind of other hypothesis I've had for kind of the intersection of AI and Bitcoin is just as the wealth of the world gets richer and richer due to the output of these companies being extremely optimized and AI just making us hyper efficient, making production hyper efficient, making the GDP hyper efficient, all of those things going on. People who own assets, so Bitcoin counts especially well, those assets are just going to keep going up and keep going up and keep going up, and people are going to hold them because it's like I think most of humanity has no idea what's happening right now, which is honestly kind of scary. It's like in terms of the education happening, like I look crazy if I go out in public or if I go to maybe people in college kind of like understand what's happening, but there's like a lot of hatred and there's a lot of like misunderstanding, but there's also a lot of underestimating of what these agents could do, because a lot of people's impressions are like, go on a YouTube video. This is actually great. Like go on a YouTube video, for example, that talks about AI and what's happening. 80% of the comments are going to be like hateful towards AI, call it dog shit, say there's no use case, say it's just hype, which is so surprising. And it's like, you guys are really underestimating it. You guys just really don't know. Like, you just really don't know. And that's kind of scary for me, for people. It's like, how do you not know? Just by looking at it straight in the face and just looking away. So most people have no idea what's happening, but it's like, people are going to be forced to understand what's happening, whether you feel it financially or whether you feel it because you can't get a job, or whether you feel it by looking on the news, or whether you feel it by scrolling on TikTok or the timeline and seeing like just the rapid progression of everything happening. It's like everyone's going to start to see it. As people start to see it, then I think, or what I believe is, assets like Bitcoin, real estate, stocks, just everything that is an asset wise is going to start accumulating rapidly and just start blowing up dramatically this year. And with Bitcoin going up in price and just crypto in general going up in price, then what makes the most sense is our digital collectibles going up in price. And there's also, I have this other interesting POV on how things are working, where I think money ultimately ends up not mattering in like 5-10 years with how rapid this technology is. And like when I say rapid, I'm like, I'm gonna share my screen actually. This is like one of my favorite.
This is a scary perception, but I've heard it multiple places. That so, do you think we're going to universal income?
I think we need to. It's really
coming from an AI guy.
Yeah, well, no, he thinks we need to because he's set up to be
I know.
in that top 2%.
I mean, because like the way no, I actually talk because it's like, bro, it's just the bitter truth. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, people in the AI space like do get wealthier, and like I talked to this guy from the IRS. It was really interesting because he was like, "Yeah, even I'm getting replaced." I'm like, "Fuck, we already have AI replacing the tax people. This is horrible."
Oh no.
But kind of like what's happening there is like he talks about AGI, and he's like, the way that, and this is his personal opinion, but it actually made sense in my head, is like the way that it made sense in his head for AI or like UBI to work is like because people in the AI space are literally, it's like a black hole. Like, you know how we say that Bitcoin is liquidity black hole? AI is also a financial black hole. Like every single resource, every single ounce of money will start flowing into AI because it just makes the most sense. So people who develop AI systems or people who manage AI systems will start accumulating most of the wealth. So they should be taxed a much, much, much higher price to make up and allow people in their community and like support the people who can't get work because of AI, because they've been replaced by AI. So it's almost like this balancing cycle of, okay, AI people get wealthy, but they have to distribute that wealth to the community. Like you really don't have an option, bro. There's really no being greedy here unless you want people to die. So that's almost like what's going on here. So I'm like, yeah, I do think we need UBI, but this is one of my favorite. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite blogs. It's just this was made in 2015, by the way. This was 10 years ago. But this is the AI revolution, the road to super intelligence. And just a lot of nerdy talk about like how fast technology goes, gives very good insight about like how human progression has been over time. So like, at the start of the chart, we discovered fire. Sick. And then throughout over time, we discovered the steam engine. And then from here, we kind of start discovering like the transistors. So now we can have phones and technology, like more technology. Now we can have Wi-Fi, better cars, all of that. And that's like, this has been the progression. So it's like, think about unlocks, like like progression for humanity was never linear. It was always just like rapid gaps of holy fuck, we just discovered something that was sick. Now we can do all of this. So in terms of something like the internet as a gap, think about all of these geniuses around the world, different cultures, all spread out throughout the globe, that we're all discovering things on their own. We're all discovering things on their own field, had no way to communicate with each other until the internet came out. And then people could start posting their findings online, connecting with people from different communities. And now the global consciousness of intelligence of around the world is now connected through the internet. So now progression happens more rapidly, and it happens faster, and it happens faster. So this is like almost talking about like how AI actually takes off. And this is literally like where we were, where it's like, like this is a chart talking about just like the level of intelligence that an AI has over time. So like when ChatGPT 3.5 came out, it was like more so down here. It's like, oh, cool. Haha, you can talk to the robot, but like, it can't help me with like, my aunt specifically was like, yeah, ChatGPT fucking sucks at lawyer stuff. And so like, this was like back then, I'm like, I mean, I don't blame you. So it's just like, cool trick. Until like GPT-4 came out, and then Cloud 3.5 came out, and then 01 came out, now 03 Pro came out, and now it just kind of like elapsed humanity in terms of the level of intelligence they could do. So they call it an intelligence explosion and everything that's happening. So that's like the era we're facing is just, I firmly believe this chart, and like this is exactly what we're going through right now. And the reason why I say this is just like over time, like we've had these advancements in technology, and it's like, my favorite phrase, my favorite quote is that AI is the last invention that man needs to ever make. Because once we have AGI, man don't need to make inventions. AI can make inventions on a rapid pace. AI could do research 24/7, discover new things, test new hypotheses at the speed of their compute, and test all of these things that would normally take humans months on end to do. An AI computer, an AI super intelligence could do in hours, minutes. Days, like who knows how fast they could do it. So it's really interesting. And there's like some research I discovered last night that was like so fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
and
up?
if they can scale Willow, right, then that's a whole nother situation. I think that's where that green arrow bust up, where on your chart is like combining quantum compute with this, like using qubits is gonna freaking make this thing crazy even more.
So I wanna show something that just came on my timeline, and like the fact that we're already seeing this now honestly kind of like gives me shivers, because it was like something. And like you talk about qubit, right? You talk about Willow. Google has like this entire Google DeepMind. Google DeepMind has this other AI system called Alpha Chip, which is basically using AI to accelerate and optimize chip design and make these superhuman chip layouts that outperform what a human could normally make. And that's how we're like rapidly getting technology. So what I saw today on my timeline that kind of freaked me out is that there was this bitter lesson that I learned, that this research I learned about. That was very fascinating research a couple of days ago, but this came out 2019, by the way. So like this was 2 years after Transformer. Like we didn't even have like GPT 3.5. This is probably like GPT 2. But the TLDR of like this whole write-up by this researcher is that for the last 60 years, AI researchers have been trying to imbue these machine systems with human knowledge. For example, an AI system that is taught to play chess, they would try to teach it professional chess player strategies. However, by teaching the machine human strategies, you actually dumb down the machine. You actually limit it to the level of a human. By teaching it human strategies, it cannot surpass human intelligence and human like strategies. But when you kind of just spray and pray and you just give the machine and you give the AI a lot of compute to just iterate and learn and fuck up and fuck up and fuck up and fuck up and learn and fuck up less and fuck up less and fuck up less and fuck up less and learn. And like now that these models and like just giving the machine the energy and the compute to just like learn on its own and just scale up the data it has and predict more things, every single time, no matter what part of the AI industry it is, no matter if it was image LLMs that we have like ChatGPT, whether it was vision tech, whether it was chess systems or AlphaGo systems, every single time, if you just threw shit at the wall and just gave the AI machines a lot more compute, they would surpass human skill levels every single time. So it's almost like we're the dud, bro. Like we were the cap. So what's really interesting is like, okay, these machines learning skills and learning strategies on their own surpass humans. Okay, fun. And now when it comes to like AI systems creating computer chips, it's like now we're having these AI systems create really weird, wonky looking computer chips. Like this just came out today. I can't really verify this, but like Dr. Singularity is a great source for in like educating people. Hey, this is how fast, this is how rapid things are going on. And it's like new AI unveils strange chip designs while discovering new functionalities. It's also slashing the time and cost of designing new wireless chips. So now that we have I'm like, this looks freaky, bro. This is like some alien shit. Like we can't understand this as humans, but the machine can. The machine like understood that like this worked better. And according, right, like say this were going to stop, but like according to this research, it's like the structures look complex, but they're very, very energy efficient, and they're very strong when it comes to like what compute they're able to do. And the biggest thing I want to point out is like, okay, as you have these AI, as you have AI start designing computer chips and designing their own hardware, now you have new, more optimized hardware to then run the software of AI, which then goes back in the loop of designing new optimized hardware. So you can kind of see like this recursive snowball we're heading into rapidly now that we've been in for the last 2 years. And like now we're feeling the exponential growth. And like that's what this chart comes back to. It's like it's just that growth. It's just AI improving itself. And once you have AI improving itself, which you already see through AI creating better chips, which create better AI and like lets them like learn with more compute, then it's like, yeah, that's when we get into that whole realm of what's happening now.
I love talking about this kind of stuff, man. I'm like, I like conspiracy stuff, but this is actually reality. But I actually tie this stuff back to CERN too. Like, because every time we do particle collision, like couple years later, we have new technology. It's because they're able to break down particles to even smaller particles. But
Ooh,
I don't want to bore people about that kind of
sounds
stuff
sick.
because we do have a couple of community questions for you. PJNZ from all the way from New Zealand's asking, this is great info for programming in general. He's asking for JavaScript, interactive web design, or ordinals. Do you recommend Claude over ChatGPT? As you mentioned, AI turned me from a scripter to a coder.
Yeah, actually, I want to showcase like kind of how I make websites now. Is
all right.
There's a site called websim.ai, and it lets me iterate and design websites. So like a couple websites that I guess I'm not logged into my proper one, but I use Websim AI to come up with these site designs because you can just input a prompt and then it makes a website. So like I don't know why it's not showing mine. Oh, so like the newest Cypher Genisis site, for example, I like iterated it with Websim and kind of like going through the whole thing is like you could prompt it and you could go through prompts and just like use your words to design it and make it better. And after it came up with like sick font and like I like this design layout, then what I did is you could actually like download the HTML file or just like view the raw HTML that makes the site. And then I would give that HTML to O1 Pro or Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So it really depends. O1 Pro or like O1, if you have access to it, is like the smarter coding model. But Claude 3.5 is more creative and iterative. So like this whole web sim design experience is using Claude 3.5 because I think Claude 3.5 is better for design. And then I actually code it. So like I grabbed this design, I grabbed this HTML, and then I went to ChatGPT. I use O1 Pro. And I was like, hey, I have this HTML site. Can you turn it to a Next.js app so I could actually like code functionality and stuff? So like I went from like this like prototype design to like this website in like an hour or like 30 minutes. It was just like one prompt. And then I just like added like some tweaks on site. But just talking to the AI and like going through the whole thing and like getting something I fucked with. So that's how I do website design. And like
that's awesome. That's awesome, man. You're definitely highly efficient AI prompt engineer. Question number 2 says, for someone to get into AI practically as a dev, where would you recommend researching? I guess a starting point. There is a lot of noise, but you obviously understand practical dev on AI. Claude?
I would say, honestly, it's just being curious and making a bunch of projects. Because what happens is like there's not really a set place to research. Like you could use Perplexity. Google has a new interesting deep research Gemini feature where it could like search hundreds of websites for you. But really, like the way that I learn is just like you just make stuff and you have this idea of a product or something fun you want to make, usually for me. And then as I'm like coding it, I kind of like hit these bumps where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of stuck here. How can I get past this bump? And that's when I do research, learn something new, learn a new system. Oh, I just learned RAG. Oh, I just learned knowledge graphs. Oh, I just learned like how AIs use tool. Oh, I just discovered this new AI service that like integrates. And you just like start picking up all these things over time. And then yeah, you just make things. You just keep coding and building and you start learning more.
Awesome.
That's pretty much it.
All right. I got one last question. So we're partnered with that Emblem Vault. We talk to Jake once a week, and he said told us that you're actually doing stuff for them eventually in the future with their wallet integration and stuff like that with the AI. Could you speak on that at all? I'm not sure if you can or not.
Yeah, it's just using. So I've been re-architecting Satoshi AI's system, kind of like just making a new framework to support the ability for him to make proper inscriptions, because I've had like inscription tech and I'm like, I should just drop it to like wow people's minds, like, oh my god, the AI could inscribe, but like what's the point of the shitty inscriptions? So I'm kind of like remaking the system to like go through and like see if I can make him make meaningful inscriptions. And with Emblem Bot is just another tool that Satoshi could use to like trade. And now I got stuff like the timeline scraper I just made and all of these things. So like it would be possible using Emblem Bot's tech to just have an AI that just trades on its own. I think it'd be interesting. Just like see what happens there. If I'm like, hey, you can trade, by the way, and just like see what's up. I don't really see anything. Like honestly, there's really nothing. Like when people are like, oh, these AI agents could like trade for you and everything, like out trade you. It's like it's more so for fun. I don't really see a practical use there yet. But I definitely see like, well, I can't talk about some things I'm working on, but yeah, it's practical. and could be cool, but for now it's mostly just for fun.
Yeah. So it's a starting point, right?
Yeah.
To kind of what could be. And I think that's the most important thing. But man, what a show. What a show. Definitely love having you on. It's been too long. So, we got to catch up in IRL at one of these events. Which one are you going to next? I don't know if you want to put that out there, but
I think
we're going to be
Paris. I got invited to Paris to speak.
nice.
That'll be the next one. And then I think I'm actually speaking at the Bitcoin conference in May.
Hell yeah. That's going to be awesome. We'll be there for sure. So we'll catch up there. But any last words? Go ahead. Did you have something?
Oh, no, I was just saying sick.
Oh, okay. Any last words about like the booze?
You got a $35 tip?
Yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, any last words for the community, man? We got 1,300 people in here. Awesome show out for you. You are a popular man. But any last words for the community about AI or even the booze or the ordinal space? But the stage is yours.
Oh, mostly it's just like, bro, don't be scared of AI. It's like what's really nice about AI is that it's available to everyone, at least everyone that has a computer. It's a superpower. So like if you're scared of AI replacing you, then make AI your symbiote, merge with AI so you're irreplaceable. Like if an AI system by itself could replace a human, imagine a human imbued with an AI system. It's like you're irreplaceable, bro. It's like you are going to be extremely valuable. If you are specialized, like highly specialized in an industry, this is especially when you should learn how to use AI to make your work easier, to make you more efficient, to make you very high demand. And like, there really is no excuse. Like, there's just not. It's like, oh, okay, you want to cry about AI? Fucking cry about it. You want to learn AI? Cool. Like, there are infinite tools out there for you to learn and educate yourself on how to become a superhuman with AI. So it's like, you could take it or get fucked. Like, I don't really, there's really no other options. I'm sorry, yo. And then someone had a question said, according to him, how long will it take to achieve one memory eternal for all agents? When will he give agents access to a wallet? I mean, agents already have access to a wallet. Proving private keys by the agent, that's something you can't really do. I talked to Casey about this. He was like, nah, it's impossible. He's like, every method there is like going to be dog shit. It's like there is this thing called teas where it's like you just there's this concept called teas that Rubberito dropped, which is basically trusted executionless environments. And that is a way to prove that you can't mess with the AI agent. So that is like how you could prove, hey, like I can't touch this private
There's
key.
no backdoor and stuff like that.
Like there's no backdoor, but at the same time, it's like teas are ultimately, in my opinion, useless because then you can't upgrade the AI agent. And
True.
Like the last thing you would want is to not upgrade your super intelligence as more AI intelligence and upgrades and softwares come out. So you're kind of dudding yourself and it kind of becomes useless at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, you could like people are talking about, oh, like proving private keys by an agent. It's like if the agent has a dev, the dev's going to have the private keys. Like there's really no way around it. It's the dev's agent at the end of the day. So
for now.
For now.
But man, it's been an amazing show. Love to have you back on, with more advancements with your projects and stuff like that. And can't wait to catch up in real life at an event. We'll be at the Bitcoin conference, so maybe we'll catch up there. But
okay, appreciate. Yeah, excited to see you boys.
Yep, appreciate you, sir. We'll see you soon.
Cool. Bye, y'all.
Thanks, man.
Peace.
Dude, that was awesome. I was, it was pretty incredible. The way his mind, you just kind of see him like his thought process, like through stuff. It reminds you kind of like
it's like a good ADD.
Yeah, no, but you kind of see like in his face motions, like him thinking through stuff, and it's like so quickly. Like it would take me like an hour to see his like thought process in real time and the way he changes, this course very quickly. I mean, the dude's just really intelligent, and having people like that building here is phenomenal, especially with AI.
100%. But I think it also shows like what passion can do, right? Because he obviously has a passion for AI. He's been working on it for a very long time and a passion for building something with substance. So, that is something that's different, in my opinion, than other blockchains with Bitcoin's ecosystem, is that the builders here, especially the early on builders, with their communities and ordinals and stuff, they really want to build substance. And, Butoshi's an example of that. So I really appreciate him jumping on with us and educating us along with, almost 1,400 other people.
And he's like 22 years old. Imagine a 32-year-old Butoshi. Like he's whatever project he's involved with, man. I want to be a part of it for sure. So
100%. 100%. But do you got any housekeeping or anything? Any last items that you want to go over, or we're good?
That's really it. That's it for now. Yeah, I think that's good.
Awesome. Well, man, big show out today. We appreciate you guys for showing up for sure. You know, almost 1,400, 1,386 to be exact, and that's not in counting the Rumble audience as well. So really appreciate you guys for showing up for Butoshi and Ordinal Revolution's AI segment today. If you do have some extra time, we would appreciate if you could check out our partners. Emblem Vault is the interoperability tool for Bitcoin Layer 1 ordinal inscriptions, being able to jump those to different environments like Merlin, Bitcoin Layer 2, or Base in the future. I know they're going to be working with Abstract soon, stuff like that. Super exciting. Also, you know, they have their Bitcoin AI product coming out. You heard a little bit from Butoshi here. So, you know, just look out for these guys. They're going to be doing huge things in our ecosystem. You can learn more at emblem.vision. And BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. They utilize ICP and Bitcoin technology for you to be able to place bets on their marketplace. If you have an Xverse wallet with some Bitcoin in it, it takes 6 blocks for you guys to be able to deposit on their platform. They have some amazing bets on there relating to Bitcoin, sports, all types of stuff. But the biggest advancement that they're going to have is their create your own markets. It's going to be super fun and a way for you to really kind of earn, right? Like you're going to be able to create your own market. And if you have a Twitter following or you're good at networking, you will be able to earn, I believe, 1.5% on the total volume. So that's going to be really, really big. Also, they have a rune coming out in the future, and you can just earn points for that by just interacting with their platform. Signing up for an account will get you 50 points right away. You can learn more at betbtc.win. And BitPerp, we talked about them earlier. The 16th of this month is the target date for the paper trading competition. And Botan should be ready by then, but you're going to have a chance to win a part of that 10,000 USDT. And it's all paper trading, so you don't have to use any of your actual funds there. They're gonna launch on a Bitcoin Layer 2 and Q1, and also be able to allow you guys to trade synthetic versions of Bitcoin Layer 1 assets like runes and BRC20s. You can learn more about these guys at bitperp.io. And then Fluid Tokens, they are the Wizard dev team that I called Wizard UTXO dev team because they were the first to present retail staking vaults on Bitcoin Layer 1. They use it with their time lock technology, block lock technology, and they have some really good staking vaults right now. The Dog Go to the Moon just finished up, so if you have Dog Go to the Moon in your staking vault, you can remove that and get your reward of Dog Go to the Moon and Memento Mori rune all in one transaction as you unstake. There should be a new Dog Army rune staking vault opening soon, but they also have their Fluid staking vault. So if you had your Fluid passes in the old one, make sure you take those out and put them in the new one because you're going to be able to earn their rune that's coming right around the corner. They're also building a bridge from Cardano to Bitcoin and vice versa. And they are building their lending product on Arch Network as well for a little bit quicker experience there. You can learn more about these guys at fluidtokens.com and click on the Bitcoin logo there. Merlin Chain, your #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. Merlin's doing huge things all the time. You know, one thing about this team is they're always trying to innovate and look for new ideas to bring more people to the Bitcoin ecosystem. So we appreciate that. If you are a builder on Bitcoin Layer 1 and you want your protocol to be a bit more flexible for a Layer 2 experience, reach out to Merlin Chain. They have builder grants. They have great builder support. And if you are a retail user, you can swap on Merlin Swap, get a similar Uniswap experience. You can trade for Dog Go to the Moon rune using your rep Bitcoin there. And don't forget about our integrated partners. And Foxy is building the metaverse on Bitcoin L1 called the Bitverse. And they're also building their first-person shooter game called Clan Wars. And also, they were the first to create a Unity integration with Xverse. So super excited about what these guys have planned. And then Ordinal Hive is your aggregator Ordinal marketplace. So you're going to find the cheapest ordinals on Bitcoin Layer 1 and Layer 2 Merlin with these guys. And their main net launch is right around the corner. But we appreciate you guys, checking out our partners.
Yep. I just want to thank PJNZ again for the $34.99. Appreciate you, my friend PJNZ. You are one of our, our go-tos, man. We appreciate you so much. But guys, if you have a few more seconds, if you wouldn't mind checking out ordinalrevolution.com with some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help. We really feel like it can help them get started and caught up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, every single person should have a VPN. There's no excuse to just give your IP address to these websites, which can eventually find your address. It's not something you should do. Get a VPN, guys. This is $2.99 a month. It's super cheap. But if you're not going to use Nord, use a different VPN. Just get a VPN. Stop being an idiot, guys. Get a VPN. But if you guys are going to Bitcoin 2025, like Butoshi, like us, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But check out our ticket discount here. If you're paying with Bitcoin, it's even cheaper. But do not wait until May to get your tickets, guys. It's going to be too late. They're going to be way more expensive and way more than you actually want to spend on tickets for this thing. Because it's fun. It's awesome. But it's not worth insane amount of money. Get your tickets as soon as possible for cheap today. And if you guys are looking for merch, we have some of the best merch in all of crypto, not just Ordinals. So check out all of our stuff here at ordinalrevolution.com. Hoodies, hats, and much more, t-shirts and all that. But guys, we are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. We really appreciate every single one of you guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
We OG, oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to Olo. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, is my guy for real, bro? Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Merlin. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls. Bet I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.